Hello.
Hello.
Hi. So I was just getting changed. Good, thank you. How are you doing? How was the body workout?
Amazing. We did, I don't know if you'd done did you do the Spider-Man push-up movement before?
No, not a Spider-Man one.
Like that.
All right, okay.
We did those across the floor and everyone was like, oh, just about drop my roller there. Everyone was like, oh my God, that one's really a challenge. And Marge was like, she had to get her towel and everything. Like, even Sean was like, oh, that was tough. But,
Yeah.
I kept sliding across the floor for some reason. So
no grip.
I was saying this is going to be hilarious on the playback.
Well, it's good to have a giggle. Oh no, that doesn't sound like I could do that, sustain that one at the beginning. I'm not good at normal push-ups, never mind moving at the same time. So
it's tricky, but it is a goodie.
Yeah, can imagine. So yeah, this is like, so I have good news and also sad news.
Okay.
Which means the good news and bad news, not true, is that thankfully I'm going to have an income again from next week, and I'm going to be back at work.
Good.
Yeah, so that's a big, huge relief, which means I can start to contribute a bit more to different things that I want to support, including Little Egypt. But the sad news is that I can't do Wednesdays anymore because my hours will be during the day, Monday to Friday. Well, until I'll be getting home. It's a really early shift, so I'll be getting home by about 2 in the afternoon. Apart from a Friday where I finish at 11:30, so I'll be home by 12.
Sure.
But yeah, so I won't make the Wednesday ones, which is a shame.
Never mind. But Ross, you will still have all of the videos
exactly
up to YouTube, so you won't completely miss out. That's what's lovely about what we've got going on now.
Yeah, and I'll still be here on Monday nights, definitely, and the Haflas.
Amazing.
Great, you've changed it to every second week actually, because it means I'm probably going to be able to make it more often, because
cool.
I'd arranged I have a thing every fortnight with 2 of my best friends on Zoom on a Friday night, you see, and sometimes it clashes with the Hafla. And then what's been happening lately is that other things would come up on a Friday as well, and the ones in between, so that's why I've not been there the last few. Whereas the way it's worked out, actually, this Friday is when, because there's not one this Friday, is there?
No.
Yeah, this is when me, Mary and Christina will be meeting, and so I can definitely meet next Friday night. Yeah, so
fabulous. Oh, that's good. That's all actually really positive.
Yes, I know. The sadness was just like, I can't be there live on a Wednesday. And it's a struggle to motivate myself to like get onto the recordings for some reason. I don't know what it is. It's just something nice about being there in the live moment, isn't there? Because you
totally. Well, you have that interaction, don't you? Yeah. But I suppose doing them recorded means that when you next join us live, you know what has all been going on. And
yes, exactly. Tell you, it's going to be a shock to the system going back though. After sitting on my bum for so many weeks, and like I'll be standing on my feet like 8 hours a day. So back at Walker's Shortbread.
Sure.
And you know, the start time at 5 a.m, which means I'll be getting up at like 3:30 in the morning.
Oh wow.
That's the kind of times I've been going to bed lately. So yeah, it's going to be a big to kind of get back into
reverse all that.
But it's going to be great because it really tones up your muscles and things doing that kind of work, which I really
cool.
I enjoyed when I was doing it before, like because you're constantly using your arms a lot of the time and swapping around positions every half an hour, so you don't get like RSI, so you're doing something different. And it's just a good opportunity to really be mindful throughout the day as well, because there's not a huge amount of, you have to concentrate because it's quite fast, but other than that there's not a huge amount of mental stimulation, so you can really tune in on the present, like what's going on in your body and stuff. And enjoy the aromas of the, you know, shortbreads and mince pie pastries.
Wow. There's a lot of people who would pay for that, and you're being paid for that.
Exactly. So.
Wow. Oh, awesome. Well, shall we do some rolling then?
Yes, let's do some rolling.
Let's have some lovely rolling time. So one of the areas that we had said that we would focus on this time was the calves.
Yes.
So what we'll do is is there any other specific areas of your body, Ros, that this week you would really like to focus in on?
If you would be able to show me a kind of top, like, so I know you said not to roll on your neck, although you can do it if you show them properly. But like what happened a few days ago is I got my usual kind of really sore trapped muscle on down my left hand side, but it was really near the top.
Okay.
So it felt like right in the corner there, you know, where the neck joins the top of your shoulder goes down. And it was that case of not being able to turn my head to the side or go down like that. And I was like, ah. And then I was doing all the neck stretches that I know how to do from, you know, from gentle dynamic stretching and belly stretch, but it eased it a little bit. But I'm still in. Yeah, it'd be good if that happens again, because that's something that happens fairly frequently with me.
Sure.
So just to know how to ease that off, because I couldn't really get the foam roller in the right position, and then I was like, I don't want to try and do this without being shown properly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
so what we can do then is, we'll do a couple of rolls. So what we'll do is we'll roll through back and all the large muscles in that muscle group, and just focus on there, and all the muscles in that large muscle group. And then what we'll do is we'll release through low traps, low trapezius, and then into the base of upper trapezius. That will really, really help with that whole thing that you're talking about. We'll see how you find the technique of those rolls, and then if it feels appropriate, what I can show you is one which is slightly more challenging. It will require lots of core strength and stability. I think if you just keep feeding back to me how you're feeling with things, and we'll just take it from there.
Okay.
And then we'll also move on. I'll show you that gorgeous calf.
The calf shape, yeah, because that'd be good because they're so tight. What Marcus and I started doing was rolling on each other. That sounds weird, but like using the roller like as if to give one another a massage on our legs. So, but it was difficult to get the. I think we were able to do that fairly safely because it meant like one of us would just lie down and the other one would ask about pressure and roll the roller up and down our calf muscles and avoid our knees and things. But it was difficult to get it even, I think, when you're doing it with somebody else. Do you know what I mean? Like the evenness of the rolling. But it still felt really good because we didn't have to do any of the work. The person receiving, like, you know how normally you're having to be quite active.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's this way you could just kind of relax into it. And I don't know if that's it's okay to do that or not, because I was thinking that sometimes when I try and do it myself, it feels a bit counterintuitive because I'm so tense with trying to hold myself in position that I'm tensing up the muscles all like throughout my entire body, including the ones that I'm rolling, which isn't necessarily great for, you know, rolling them and getting them to relax.
Well, so one of the things there then to think about, Ros, is that your body is naturally going to want to resist change. It's going to want to resist any release or a stretch. Let's call it a stretch, even though we know it's pressure that we're using. It's the same mechanism within the body that it utilizes. And so whenever you feel that you're tensing throughout your whole body, you need to just consciously remind yourself to release and relax.
Okay, yeah.
Just try as best you can to bring your focus to your breath and then to the allowing the release of tension, because body will want to bring this initial resistance. And even when you feel that, let that be a reminder that, oh yes, something's happening here, something new and different is happening here, and let that be an invitation then. Sink down. And so, and I'll keep reminding you as you go through as well, just I wonder what other.
Yeah, I'll definitely try that, and that will help. I think the challenge for me is like, you know, if I'm like leaning up on my arms or whatever, and then rolling down at my leg or down at my back or whatever, and you need to, it's the other bit that isn't being rolled on that has to almost keep a little bit of tension in it. Otherwise, I would just be lying flat down on the ground. If that makes sense.
I remembered what I was just about to say there, and it's in alignment with what you're just mentioning. And so the other thing as well is that if you remember that because the muscles are working in pairings, and because the body has this wonderful ability of taking the path of least resistance, if you've got a muscle on one half of that pairing that is particularly strong, let's say, I'll just take, for example, because it's visible, the front of my shoulder. Let's say that my anterior deltoid is much stronger than my posterior deltoid. And this is actually the case in most people, which can lead to, obviously there's various different reasons why you might have shoulder forward posture, but this is one of the reasons, is that people tend to be stronger in the front of their body than the back of their body. And so what it presents then is an opportunity to recalibrate the muscle pairings. So one of the reasons that you've got fatigue through those muscles that you're releasing is because there's imbalance in the first place. And I guess taking a holistic view, as well as looking at those individual muscle pairings, and just bringing mindfulness to the release and giving yourself permission to release that tension and to recalibrate. Yeah, I think that's really key.
Okie dokie. Let's see how we go then.
Yeah. So at any time, remember you can return to your hips, you can return to a resting position, you can just return to your breath and alignment. So let's start off then with a really gorgeous roll throughout the full length of back. So you're going to bring yourself down onto your mat or your floor. Your feet are about shoulder width apart. Your knees are about shoulder to hip width. Then you're going to guide yourself in. Be careful the roller doesn't roll away from underneath you. You're going to bring yourself down to the low section of your rib cage. And then once you get there, you're going to start to lift your hips up in alignment. Don't let them collapse out of neutral. Keep them in alignment with the rest of the spine. Engage through your abs. And then you're going to bring your head down into alignment. So you've got alignment through the whole spine, and then you're going to begin to roll. You're looking at about 1 centimeter a second. And if you're not too sure what that speed feels like or looks like, the best thing I could say to do would be to just slow it right down. The chances are you're probably going faster than what you realize. So just slow it right down. If in doubt, slow down. You're going to roll all the way up towards the top of your back just before you get to your shoulders. So this time we're keeping the shoulders out to the side if that's comfortable for you. And then as we return, we're going to begin to roll double time. So it's about 2 centimeters a second. The other thing that I've found useful in the past when I've been getting used to this technique is to actually take a measuring tape and roll it out at the side of your mat. And then you've got you can just gaze over to the side and properly look and see how fast you're traveling. So you're going to take that.
I didn't hear what you just said because I managed to roll over the buttons on my headset and mute us both.
That's hilarious.
Oh God, I can't speak.
So what I said was, I'm just going to return my hips so that I can stop laughing. What I said was, if you're not familiar with the speed that you're rolling at, the other thing that I've done before at the beginning of my foam rolling journey to get used to how fast I'm traveling is to actually roll out a measuring tape at the side of your mat. And then you can shift your gaze over to the side.
There we go. Finally, I've been able. Sorry, I couldn't hear you at all. It's because I'd managed to not only mute you, I then rolled on the minus volume button all the way down. So that basically, even when I unmuted you, it still wasn't working. I was like, what's going on? And then realised I had to press the plus all the way up. Sorry.
That is so funny.
Oh, for goodness sake.
Between me and the last class doing the Spider-Man push-up and sliding everywhere, rolling over the buttons.
No. Oh, for goodness.
I was just saying that one thing that I found useful was to actually roll out a measuring tape at the side of my mat to help me see how fast I'm traveling.
Oh, that is a good idea. Yeah. Okay. Right, I'm gonna start roll again.
That's so funny that you did that. Oh dear. So we're gonna roll again this time. You can bring your elbows up towards the sky, really open out through in between the scapula. Let the shoulder blades come round to the side of your body, opening up that mid and upper section of your back. And you can roll up towards the top of your back, just where that joins into your shoulders. And then in your own time, with alignment through the full length of spine, you can begin to travel back. Keep your hips in neutral. Use your pelvic floor muscles to do that. And also utilizing the muscles of your abs, your waist, your back. Keep spinal alignment. You're going to travel that all the way back down to the low section of your rib cage. You can return your hips, or if you feel to, you can carry on. You're going to roll again 1 centimeter a second. Bring your elbows up towards the top. Elbows up towards the sky. And this time, so I usually say about 3 or 4 rolls, and you're going to find that the muscles are suitably warmed up to then go on and do something else. You might find that really those 3 or 4 rolls are all you need in that muscle group, or you might want to work deeper into there. So this time, in your own time, traveling all the way back down, we're going to return the hips, and I'm going to show you an additional technique. Usually on about the 3rd roll, the return of that phase, you can often feel like little pops or clicks happening in your spine. And it's lovely and releasing. So you're going to return your hips down towards the mat. Just see how you feel. Hopefully you should be beginning to feel the muscles really warm up. Maybe you feel an expansion through those muscles. And maybe they feel lighter and more released.
Yeah, they definitely feel warmer and a little bit lighter. Yeah, I felt a couple of clicks.
It can be really, really nice.
Yeah.
So the next thing that I can show you then is, let's try, we're going to rotate our entire rib cage. Now, I think we did this one last time. So we're going to focus the roll on the outsides of our rib cage. We're going to do one side of the body and then the other side of the body. And it's going to involve rotating your entire spine, so your hips as well. There's no twist through the waist. You're rotating the rib cage and the pelvis. So let's have a little shot of that one, if that sounds good to you.
Okay.
So again, set yourself up a nice strong frame with your lower half of your body, and then you're going to lower yourself down onto the roller, and your full back is on the roller there, the lower back, both sides. You're going to lift the hips up, bring the spine into alignment all the way to the crown of the head. There's no tension through my neck there. Then what you're going to do is, as you start to roll, you're going to start to push off with your foot to rotate through your pelvis and through your rib cage. And you're going to allow that roll to focus on one side of your rib cage. Now, it's just a small rotation, but it's enough to work round the outside of the scapula. If it feels good for you, you can continue to roll over the top of the scapula. Now, this isn't for everybody. If it doesn't feel right for you, you can just stop and focus on that low section underneath the scapula. But if it feels good, you can carry on over the top of there and up towards your shoulder region. What's that?
It feels good. Sorry, I just did it again with the button. That's why.
No, I'm glad you said that. That's wonderful. And then when you get to the top of there, to where the top of where feels comfortable, without rolling solely through your neck, of course, you're going to start to come back down again.
Oh, that's good.
It can be quite a deep release through here. You're releasing through rhomboids underneath your arm, through underneath the scapula, and rolling all the way down. And then as you come lower down your back, you're going to start to return your hips. I've rolled over my hair. There we go. Start to just rotate back round and return your full back, both sides of your body, to the roller. You can return your hips here, come back up into center in your own time, and just see how that feels. That side to the other, and just have a little move around of your arms, of your shoulder blades themselves.
Oh.
Notice the difference?
Yes.
So that's one you can go on and have a play with. You could do that another 2 or 3 times on that side. Yeah. But for now, let's level us up for the purpose of right now. In your own time, you can carry on and do that a few more times each side if you like. So let's try the other side. We're going to lower ourselves down. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe out, coming down, make connection with the roller. You're going to lift your hips up, keep them in alignment, bring your upper half level in alignment as well. Make sure that if you need to move your feet to give you a little bit extra space or leverage, make sure it's a nice smooth connection. Don't jolt yourself. So as you start to roll, you can rotate round your hips and your rib cage. So there's no twist through the waist. It's a full body rotation there, and you're going to start to roll underneath the scapula. If it feels right for you, you can roll over the top of the scapula, coming up towards that shoulder joint there. Just be careful, take your time. Remember, you can always return your hips. Remember to breathe.
Oh, that feels good.
Well done, well done. And in your own time, whenever you get to the top, a natural finish point, you can start to come back down, this time double time. Sometimes I find on the return of this roll is when I feel it the most.
Yeah.
Ooh. I felt that one. And in your own time, of course, beginning to rotate round through the hips and the rib cage at the same time, returning both sides of your back to the roller, and returning your hips to the mat, and returning crown of the head upwards. Take your time coming back up. And just have a little feel, see if perhaps you've got already a wider range of motion through there.
Yeah, it feels really good.
So this
is that I usually ask Marcus to focus on if he's giving me a back rub. Like right, the outer sides of the rhomboids, if you like.
Sure. Yeah. So this is, and there's a lot of, often people hold a lot of historic tension right underneath the scapula in those areas. So it can be really, really beneficial. It can be also very uncomfortable because you can be releasing literally 10, 15 years of tension. There could be calcified muscle in there that's dehydrated and it's crystallized. And so what you're doing is you're actually returning blood flow into that area again, into the muscles. You're breaking down that calcification to be returned into the bloodstream. So it's really, really deep work. And whenever you feel that, that sort of feeling of, I've really released something there. That feeling, whenever you feel that feeling of warm release, almost like as if you've had a massage, a deep tissue massage, let that be a reminder to also take in lots of hydration, take in good quality hydration, really good water, coconut water, herbal teas, things like that.
Yep.
Nettle tea. Nettle and peppermint tea are particularly good for helping flush that through, because what we've done at the same time as release all of that from the muscles, we're also working our kidneys and our liver that little bit more. So it's really, really important that you stay hydrated. So I'll let you play with that one a bit more. I think you'll probably get a lot of benefit out of that one. But just for the purpose of showing you that, we'll just do one on each side. Now, if that felt accessible to you, then I think we could probably go on and try another one. So what this one that we just did, what that did was it began to release through lower traps. So this kite-shaped set of muscles that attaches way down in here. So we began to release through low traps and a little bit through mid-trapezius as well. So what we can do is bring a little bit of a roll through upper trapezius. Now, we don't ever want to roll fully just through the neck, just because there's lots of nerve endings there, your spine is exposed and it's perhaps a little bit more delicate. But what we can do is we can bring the roller on an angle. So we've been working with the roller straight on to your yoga mat or your space that you're working with. But what we can actually do is angle it. So let's say we took the roller like this. So what I've done here, hopefully you can see the angle I've got here. So what I've got here is I've pointed one edge up towards the top corner of my yoga mat, and the other is sort of coming into the center of a mat. So I could actually draw a triangle, a pyramid shape in the yoga mat here. This is just to give you an idea of the angle that I'm using. All right, and then what we're going to do is we're going to come down over the top of the roller. So again, we're going to be in the center of the mat, and we're in alignment with the edges of the mat. So you're going to come down, and again, making very sure and careful here that you're not going to allow the roller to slide away from you. Now, when you come down, you're going to bring the lowest edge of the roller into the lowest part of your rib cage. On the other side, it's going to be higher up. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And then what we're going to do is we're going to guide ourselves in the lowest part in towards your rib cage. Okay, this might feel a bit odd when you first come on it, but make sure that your body is in alignment with your yoga mat. You're going to bring your hands up to your head. So there's no tension through here. I'm not pulling on here. It's literally just guiding to support. Lift your hips up, use your pelvic floor muscles and your abs. And then what you're going to do is guide your body down your mat. And you're naturally going to feel that the roller is going to come sideways. Okay, so your body, aim to bring your body down the mat. And naturally you're going to find that you're going to come out to the side a little bit as well. Does that feel about right? So you're going to come up towards, the roller is going to be on one side of your body, under your shoulder, and on the other side it's going to be in towards the base of your skull. Yeah?
Yeah, except one of my sides is, because it's not long enough, isn't really touching at all. Like the other side is right underneath my shoulder, the base of my shoulder.
Okay, so what to do, in that case, I would angle it so that you are, you want to, let me just come and see if I can, I don't know if I can see where you're, yep. So what I'll get you to do, Roz, is if you bring your roller, if I just did that and push the edge there.
So closer towards me, away from the computer.
Yes.
There,
that's it.
Okay.
That's it. That should serve you there.
Oh yeah, then I can feel it at the base of my skull now, the other end.
Just being very, very careful as you go. And you're aiming your body directly down, just exactly as we did before. But what you're going to feel is you're going to travel naturally a little bit out to the side. But still keep driving down, straight line. Take your time with it, and remember you can always return your hips to the ground. You don't want to feel any edges of the roller pressing into your vertebrae.
Okay.
If you do feel that happen, then just come off and we can realign things.
No, that feels good.
Good.
It's on the muscles rather than vertebrae.
Sure. Now, if you feel able to, and that it would be beneficial, rather than having your elbows out to the side, you can bring your elbows again up towards the sky. Okay. And that's just going to take the scapula out of the way for you. Try and keep the neck in alignment, keep the hips up high. And then when you get up to the top, you can begin to roll back down again. Just take your time, remember to breathe. Drive your body directly upwards. You will come a little bit out to the side. Triangle upwards. How does that feel?
Good, yeah. It's a weird feeling because you are going out to the side at the same time.
If you feel able to and you want to, you could carry on and do another one of those, or return your hips directly to the mat.
Okay, do another one. Oh, yeah, I could feel that would be really good for the bit I was talking about earlier.
And then in your own time, I'll let you finish that one wherever you're at just now. We're going to return our hips, and then let's just take a moment to see how that feels. See how that feels one side of the body to the other.
That's amazing. It's like my left shoulder's like dropped right down compared to my right.
Wow.
From the tension usually right up, like the bit that's usually really tense up here, it's just gone.
Incredible, isn't it?
You probably see that from the
That's amazing.
So you've been up the other side. Yeah, because I can feel this side's like solid still.
Right,
and this side's all soft.
Yeah. Wow.
That's good.
Should we try the other side then?
Yes, and to even them out.
So you're going to just flip the roller the other way. So try and create the same angle as what you have on the other side.
Yeah.
So for me here, I'm taking one towards the top of the yoga mat and the other edge is in towards the center. And we've identified that if you've got a shorter roller, you want to start with it right at the edge of your rib cage, basically.
Okay, yeah.
And then you're going to bring yourself in alignment with the yoga mat. Set yourself up your frame with your legs and your hips. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, being careful, very careful to guide yourself down onto the roller, coming onto the roller, starting at the low section of your rib cage. You're going to lift your hips up. Use your abs and your pelvic floor muscles, and then you can guide your hands in behind your head. You could bring your hands, your elbows up towards the sky, and then begin to roll and focus on bringing your body down towards your heels. Down towards your heels. Remember to breathe. And you're traveling about 1 centimeter a second. I've got some little pops and clicks going on.
Oh, same here.
Guiding it all the way up towards your shoulder. And then your own time can begin to roll all the way back. And driving your body upwards this time. It will naturally come out to the side a little. Coming all the way down towards low section of rib cage. And the beauty of when you come right down here is you feel on the other side of your body, you might feel, depending on the size of your roller and your own physiology, you might feel it releasing through the other shoulder.
Yeah, I do. I noticed that last time the other way around, yeah.
Yeah, it's quite good. So once you get there, if you feel to, take a deep breath in, and as we breathe out, you can come into another roll over towards that area. Relax through your neck, keep your hips in alignment. Remember to breathe, consciously relax, driving yourself down. And once you get to the top there in your own time, you can complete that roll and start to come all the way back down again, driving your body upwards. And it's that upwards and downwards motion that we're using that's really helping to lengthen out those muscles at the same time as the pressure releasing them. So it's a double action there. In your own time, when you get to the bottom of your rib cage, you can just return your hips to the ground and begin to lift up and enjoy that sensation. Notice any change, any enhanced range of motion that you might have there. Feeling clear.
That's incredible.
It is wonderful, isn't it?
Up now, they're all the soft on both sides.
So if you imagine that you then went on and you did maybe 4 more times on each side. Mm-hmm. You can imagine how incredible you'd be feeling by now. So you can go on and do that. There's another roll that I can show you which will really be tremendously releasing for the very, very top sternocleidomastoid into sternocleidomastoid as well. These, I think, will hold on releasing these muscles till next time, because it is very, I would say, I would like for you to have a little shot of practicing those ones before we move on. So it's going to be right the way in here, releasing on top. It requires a lot of core body strength and probably some release through other parts of your body before you move on to that. But it is one that you're going to find very, very helpful. And it might be that we reschedule a session specifically for you for that, or
that would be lovely. Yeah.
See what I can do for you on that front. Yeah. So let's move on. We're going to finish up then today with that gorgeous release of our calves. So I'll let you play about with those other movements that we did in your own time afterwards, or whenever you like. So rolling through your calves, and like we had said previously, your calf muscles, they are the first main part of the first main muscle group after your connection with the ground. So you've got your connection with the ground, and your feet, which are mostly tendon and bone. Then you've got your ankle, tendon and bone. And then you've got your calf muscles, and you've got tibialis anterior at the front of the body, and you've got soleus and gastrocnemius at the back of your body there. Which,
such cool names.
Aren't they amazing? They're like superheroes. Yeah. So gastrocnemius and soleus, let me just, I'm going to draw you this really crude little diagram here. I think this really, really helps. Just, if you can see what you're releasing. So, one second. So this in here, this is your calf muscle here. On the outside, I can't
quite see it.
Can you not see it?
Bright. It's just all I can see is kind of white. I can see a bit of writing at the bottom now. Put it closer again. Hang on a sec. Oh, it's coming into focus a little bit. Yeah, more that way. I see what you mean about the crudeness. It looks like good vagina art.
So you've got here, this is one set of muscles here, and then the center is a totally different. We could talk about this for a lot longer.
Okay, and that's like the calf at the back then. So
this is the back of your lower leg.
There's two sides. Okay.
So that's all I need you to just have in your mind's eye at the moment, because that really, really helps you when you then come on to some of these rolls. I'm just going to show you probably the main rolls today, and then that diagram that I've just shown you, the diagram, that makes it sound very technical. Yeah, then that's going to come more into play later on, and we can discuss the actual biomechanics of this muscle pairing later. But so just for now, be mindful that you've probably got, how long has it been since you've learned to walk? Well, so you, whatever your age, minus about 3 worth of tension in there. There can often be a lot of tension that hasn't fully been released. Even a manual massage treatment can often not get what a foam roller can get in terms of calf release. Okay, so the first one is a very, very light release. You're probably going to feel this more as an upper body strengthening movement, which is actually brilliant, because it means the more that you practice this one, the more that you can do the other ones that are going to follow. So I'm going to show you this one first. It's going to involve this kind of penguin walk with your hands. As you do that, I want you to focus on trying to make that a nice smooth shift from one side to the other. The other thing I want you to do is not collapse into it. Keep it nice and open and elevated through your chest. Your shoulders are low and they're neutral. You're going to push off with your hands. The other thing is to engage through your abdominals, all through your core, and to breathe. Really focus on breathing. All right, so what we're going to do let's go for it. Let's take a nice deep breath in. As you breathe out, you're going to lift your hips up, engage through your abdominals, and you're going to begin to roll. So you've lifted up, and your feet are hovering there. You're going to lift up, and you're going to begin to roll 1 centimeter a second. So it's kind of like a reverse push-up position. You're going to come all the way down, start to perhaps walk your hands if you need to. Try and keep it smooth. And you're physically pressing down through your low legs onto the roller, and you're rolling. So this is a very light roll to begin, and you'll find out why in a second. You're coming up towards the top of, don't roll into your knee. Just before you get to the knee, we're going to stop. We're going to breathe in. And as you breathe out, you're going to roll all the way back down again. 2 centimeters a second. Now, the tendency is to want to race this bit. Try and keep it slow. Try and keep it smooth and steady. Strengthening and toning through the upper half as well. It means that you're using your whole body in tandem. You're using your whole body in harmony. And then when you get to the just above the ankle, you're going to return your hips, and you're going to release down to the ground. Shake out your arms. So this one, you could go on and do that maybe 3 or 4 times.
Yep.
And like I say, you
doing it one more time, because I was just doing it one more time because oh, my wrists. So it's my wrists that are taking the pressure there rather than my arm muscles, because it's such weak arm muscles. But I did it another time because I realised I didn't have enough space to go all the way down to the top of my calves. I was hitting the couch. So I had to start it again at the further back. That's fine. I've got all the way up to the top this time. That's fine.
Well done. Brilliant. Okay, so then, like I say, I would maybe go on and do that another 3 or 4 times. Let me show you this one. Now, this is the one that most people tend to find they get more purchased from. There's more leverage. So you're going to bring one foot into the center of the roller. And then the other leg, you're going to cross it over just above your ankle. Now, both knees, you don't want to lock out the knees. You want to have a tiny little bit of a bend, just to soften them. That's going to protect your knee joint. Now this time you're going to do exactly the same roll, but with your top leg. You've got the added weight of the leg itself, but you're going to consciously press down with that top leg as well.
Okay.
All right. So you are the master of your own foam rolling session. You are the master of your body. You know how much pressure is required. You know how much is too much. And you know how to really, really breathe into any sensation so that you're not wasting energy. Okay, here we go. Take a nice deep breath in. And as you breathe out, we're going to lift upwards. And we're going to begin to roll. Pressing down with that upper leg, pressing down with the lower leg. You're going to begin to roll about 1 centimeter a second. And when you get to the extent of your reach, you can begin to just gently walk your hands one in front of the other. Try and keep it smooth. This is probably the trickiest part of that.
Yeah.
After you develop the upper body strength, the trickiest part is keeping it smooth. Press down and give yourself permission to release any tension. Consciously breathe into that release. Keep it smooth and steady. Don't rush it. When you get to just above the knee or below the knee, then we're going to begin to reverse, coming all the way back again. Pressing down with the low leg, pressing down with the leg on top. Beginning to come all the way back. Beginning to come all the way back. Well done. Keep breathing. Well done. Keep breathing. And in your own time, as you come to just above the ankle, you're going to return your hips down to the ground. And from there, what I'll get you to do is just actually to come to a standing position. I want you just to notice the difference, one side of your body to the other. See if you can feel a difference in your stance.
Oh my gosh.
It is quite incredible.
It feels like the leg I've just done is longer than the other. Like, so I'm standing at a, like, I can't describe it. Like, it's like the left one that's just been rolled is like longer, so that my hips are going like this in order to make room for it.
Sure.
Sense?
I know what you mean. I know exactly what you mean. The other thing that I tend to find is I find that I can actually bring my entire foot onto the ground.
Yes. I do feel very grounded, connected to it, yep.
It feels as though I'm aware that maybe I've shifted my weight forwards. Ordinarily, I've been driving my weight forwards through the balls of my feet or through my heels, whereas now I feel through that one side, I'm more balanced, and I can begin to feel the alignment. I can feel actually that my hips begin to come more into neutral rather than having an anterior tilt. All sorts of things. And if you were to then go into a movement like this, you'll instantly notice that you've got more range of motion. It's quite amazing. So let's finish up. Let's do the other side so that we're finishing nice and balanced. And on the other side, you're going to bring your foot into the center of the roller, just above the ankle. You're going to cross over the other leg. You're going to press your leg down into the roller as you begin to roll. Remember to focus on your breath and the alignment that you have. Here we go. Ready? Deep breath in. And as you breathe out, we're going to lift upwards. Press down as you begin to roll. Rolling about 1 centimeter a second. Take your time. Body will want to avoid the release. It will want to rush it. Slow it right down. Deep breaths. And if you need to Reposition your hands, doing that as smoothly as possible to walk your way through the full length of that muscle. Try not to collapse through your rib cage or through your shoulders. Ooh. Coming all the way up towards the top, just underneath the knee. And when you get to there, with a deep breath in, as you breathe out, you can begin to roll back, rolling back. Ooh, I had a lot more tension through my left calf than my right.
Opposite.
And in your own time, you can return your hips down towards the mat. Bring your feet off. And we can come to standing and just notice how that feels both sides of your body now. And just shake out through your arms, through your shoulders, through your wrists. Just feeling that alignment that you now have from your connection with the ground all the way up through your ankles into your low legs. And really that kinetic chain just carries on.
It's mad.
Wonderful alignment. So in here then, just since possibly we're not in the way of doing this so often yet, we can bring our hand out in front, bring the fingertips in towards you.
Yeah, because what I was finding there was I needed to
on the other side.
I needed to instead of walking my hands forward, like I was just going to collapse if I did that. So I tried to do it so I just needed to like lower my hips down and then just move them and then carry on the roll, if that makes sense.
Right, yeah.
But I didn't change my position from where the roller was, but I kept that in place, but then just moved my hips forward.
Sure.
That makes sense.
Well, that makes perfect sense.
I felt my wrists were going to snap.
Gosh.
So just over strengthening work.
Yeah, just over time, actually just practicing those movements themselves can really, really help strengthen through there. Let's bring the shoulders into neutral. You're going to bring your hands behind you, clasp, bring your hands down, extend them outwards. You can lift your gaze slightly up towards the sky, just release through your chest there. And release that. Bring your hands in front of you. You're going to just bring them all the way around. I'm going to be careful not to touch the mic, but you're bringing your hands around to the side. Release through the back of your shoulder there. You can bring your chin to your chest. And release that. And then one last one with shoulders in neutral. We're going to just bring our ear over towards our shoulder using the other hand. Return it into center, onto the other side. Keep the shoulder low. And then to center. So the more that you do that, the
feels good.
The less you will need to actually do a stretch afterwards, because the more that you get used to using the roller, the more it becomes your exercise and your release afterwards. It becomes all in one. It's an all-round compound movement where you're strengthening and toning and you're releasing and relaxing at the same time. You're working the muscles and creating waste product, but you're flushing the waste product away at the same time as creating it. So yeah, it's definitely something to practice, and the more that you use it, the more benefit that you'll get, the more amazing you'll feel, and the more healthy addiction you'll have towards it.
healthy addiction, what, like the crack addiction to your massages?
Yeah. I might not be able to be with you right now, but I'll provide something close. Well, it was amazing to share that with you, and like I say, carry on, and we have run over a bit today, but I think it was worth it.
And thank you.
I know that you definitely feel the value in that.
For sure.
So yes, carry on with each of those. Take your time, really slow it down, focus on your breath and your alignment, and you'll be great. You're just going to feel amazing from it.
Thank you, my dear.
You're welcome. Enjoy. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day.
Yes, you too. You too. And hope they'll see you on Sunday morning if I get up in time.
Yay!
I actually tried to join this Sunday and we had internet problems. The internet went down for a few minutes and I never managed to log on until like 7 minutes past 11, and I realised you'd have your eyes closed.
Right.
You'd be in
probably.
Your garden.
Yeah.
So I kept it on for a few minutes, but I thought, no, it's just.
Oh, that was a shame.
It's okay. I ended up. What I did is my own. Like I just picked another guided meditation that I like from somewhere else, and I just did that at the same time. So I still felt connected to you all because it was like I knew you guys would be there doing it at the same time.
Oh, that's lovely.
So it's nice.
Oh,
but yeah, I'll try and make it on time on Sunday.
Yeah, we'll see you on Sunday then.
Okay.
Love you.
Love you too. Take care.
Have a lovely rest of your Wednesday.
You too.
See you soon. Bye.
Bye, darling.